Hey everybody, how's it going? Episode 14 of Gearheads and Guardians, y'all. Holy cow.
What's up, man?
What is up? What is up? But I do want to say real quick before I forget, because last time I forgot last week, and it's not something that I normally turn down my phone. Silent mode is on. All right. Now, what I do want to say real quick, though, because I know last week I didn't mention it right off the top like I normally do. And it's because I was in a hurry and I forgot, and I apologize. But I do want to let you all know, if you have thoughts of hurting yourself, that you're not worth it, that you're not important, you're wrong. Okay? You are very important. You're very worth it, and you mean a lot to everybody. Okay? I know things get difficult, times get hard. Trust me, I know. I've been there. I've lived out of my pickup truck before. I know things get tough. I get it. Okay? But just know you can always email gearheadsandguardians@gmail.com. Send us a shout. We'll try to help you out as much as we possibly can. We'll help you, point you in the right direction, get people to talk to you, do whatever we got to do to help you. Okay? And if you don't do that and you don't feel comfortable talking to two knucklehead guys like us that you've never met in your life before, you can always dial 988, option 1. Okay? So, that being said, this week, we're going to talk about replacement barrels for our pistols. Okay?
Yes.
And we're also going to talk about an update on the HMS, that guy right over there. Late model 1X. Late model. We want to get some updates on that. I know. It's rough, but we want to hear about it. We all want to know what's going on. And, of course, now we always try to, we don't do it every week, but we try to do something about, veteran issues that we see on a daily basis, that we experience on a daily, or that we might have overheard something and, we want to talk about. So that's what we're going to do this week. All right. So, first things first. Again, if you're think about hurting yourself, dial 988 gearheadsandguardians@gmail.com. Get with us. All right, we'll help you. Now let's get into the thick of this stuff here.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to talk about replacement barrels for our handguns. Okay. Now, I know a lot of people will tell you, that most guns when they're brand new, really, there's no need. And the fact of the matter is, and I sell these barrels. I sell barrels, for 2 or 3 different companies, 4 different companies. Okay.
Yeah.
And it's true. If that gun's brand new, if it hasn't had, 40 or 50,000 rounds shot through it, or even 20,000 rounds or something like that, I wouldn't even consider it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Unless I had an agenda. Okay. Now, I'm not telling you don't go out and buy a new barrel. I'm not telling you that. Okay. What I'm telling you is, if you're looking for something that's just going to be, just like an everyday carry gun, and you just, you picked up, I pick them up at the pawn shop all the time. You know what I mean? And I don't know what that gun's had done to it. I don't know, how many rounds have been shot through it. Don't know. So for me, sure, I would put in that case, I would definitely put a new barrel in it, because I don't know, it could be that gun could look brand new.
Right.
Somebody could have just cleaned it really good and shot 50,000 rounds through it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay. So that being said, absolutely. If you buy a gun at a pawn shop and you're not sure of it, and you're buying this gun to be like a really super accurate weapon, not just something you're just gonna use for self-defense and just at close quarters, and you're that being said, you never know what you're going to run into.
Right.
You don't know if that guy's going to come up on you and he's going to be 10 feet away from you, or if he's going to be right up in your face. You don't know. Okay.
Yeah.
So at that point, what I would say again if you're buying this gun brand new, okay, 9 times out of 10, it probably isn't going to need a new barrel. Okay. Now, if you're just wanting to customize that barrel, you just want to customize that gun, you know, then by all means, there's all kinds of, performance rated barrels out there that you can pick up. Me
Mm-hmm.
personally, me personally, and it's just this has come from experience. I've not shot all the different barrels from, like, we'll just say, like KKM and um, you know just all different kinds of them. There's all different kinds of them that I just I'm drawing a brain fart. But like
Yeah.
I like stuff from Zafiri Precision, Wheaton Arms. Probably my favorite barrels come from Wheaton Arms. Um, I'm just waiting for him to make one for the 45.
Right. Well, it's
you
like
know,
anything
yeah,
else, man. You can, it, it, like anything else, necessity over want, obviously. But
fact.
guns can turn into an expensive, just like anything else, right? We do it with our cars, we do it with our trucks, we do it with, however, with what I've been and what I've seen from your handguns, right? Because you have a couple aftermarket barrels on yours. Um,
Yeah,
there, I also I say this getting in the car. I say if you have to be comfortable in your office, right?
right.
Some feels everything, right? And you have, I think I want to say it's either on your 17 or your 19. You have the silver, you have the stainless steel barrel,
Oh,
right?
that's the
Uh,
45. Yeah,
oh,
but
the 40, yeah,
it'll fit in a 19, but it's for the
yeah.
Glock 45s
So,
that I have.
but then I haven't done anything to mine, and it's all black, right? So it's kind
Mhm.
of like anything else. It's do you need to? Do you not? Now, unfortunately, for like the 50 cal, because I keep talking about it because I feel like that's my ultimate awesomeness thing that I want to get. It only comes in a stainless steel.
Right.
The rail is only stainless steel color, right? Which, I mean, for all intents and purposes, you should know that that means that that's something that you might not mess around with. But um, you know, and I'm gonna piggyback on what you said. But get what makes it comfortable to you through feel before just to be able to say I put a stainless steel barrel on it, right?
Right.
Um, but I one of the things that I was looking at on yours was how cool. Again, I'm gonna say it, how cool it looks to have a stainless steel barrel inside of a black weapon. I don't know why that's appealing to me, but it looks really cool. But like you said, it's not a necessity unless one, it's been dropped, right? You drop it
Right.
and the end's nicked. Also, compensators. You to do run
Yeah. Always.
compensators or silencers, you have to have an aftermarket with the screw tip on it, right?
Yeah, you
So
have to have a threaded barrel, right? Threaded
right,
barrel.
you know what I'm saying? So real
That's
quick, hey
what's
Mike, what's
on the
going on,
45.
buddy?
Mikey
Um,
Popkin. Hey, what's going on? Good to see you. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of different reasons that you can look at different barrels. And again, and you brought up, I was waiting for you to finish speaking. I was thinking to myself, okay, what else would I need a threaded? Oh, a threaded barrel. What I would need that for, like a compensator, for a silencer.
mhm.
Um, just and I'll be honest with you, the only reason that I bought it, honest to God, if you take that threaded barrel off my 45, off my Glock 45, and you take the barrel out of the 17, okay, and you put them side by side, they're almost the. I mean, we're talking like hairs difference in
Sure,
length. Okay,
sure.
I want the most accurate barrel I can use. Okay, that's why I went with a
Hmm.
threaded barrel, because I'm getting that much extra twist.
Yeah,
And that's now
and that actually
the,
provides more pressure. That provides more chamber pressure too, with having it a little bit
to
longer.
an, yeah, to an extent, yeah,
Yeah.
okay, but that's literally the only reason I got it, is because I just like a longer barrel. And it's just because that longer barrel, to me, in my mind, it's going to be more accurate. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
that's why I'm looking. I'm passionately looking, and I know I probably won't be able to afford one for some time, but I'm really looking at either a Glock 30. Oh, is it a Glock 34? The long 9 mil. I think it's a Glock 34.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Either that or I want a 17L, like it's the 17 long. That's what I really would like to have is a 17L.
Yeah.
Um, but it's just because the barrels are longer. They're just a longer barrel,
And longer
and
barrels actually help with recoil too.
you're gonna get it'll be a little less, yeah.
Yeah,
It won't be
because you can
quite
put
as,
it, you get a little bit more spring in there also.
yeah. You get a little bit more spring. I'm not for sure if the spring rate will make that much of a difference,
Yeah,
but I do know that with that barrel being longer, that it is in fact going to be more accurate
sure.
than
Mm-hmm.
a shorter barrel. Okay,
Right.
and that is just simply because of the rifling, the twist, everything. You know what I mean? And different manufacturers might put a tighter twist in it. For a shorter barrel, put a tighter twist in it. That might, what I mean, take up some of the inaccuracies. You know, but
Yeah.
ultimately, the ultimate thing when it comes to shooting, I mean, that's not just pistol shooting or long guns or shotguns or train, 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 train.
Yeah. All
Just
the
go out there
accessories
and
in the
shoot
world are
friends.
not going to help you if you don't take time to train. Like I've been so busy, I haven't been able to pull out my Strikeman, but you're absolutely correct. You can have all the sights in the world, you can have all the lasers and the flashlights or whatever, but if you go to draw your weapon and you end up shooting your foot off because you just don't know what you're doing, it doesn't matter.
It
So that
happens, man.
barrel,
It
and
happens.
how much are barrels? About what, $150,
Depending
dependent?
on what you're looking at. I mean, you can get I would say an average barrel is probably about 130, 140 on an
Yeah,
average.
yeah.
Okay. Now, there's some of them that are out there. Because there was a Radian. I think it's a company called Radian, I think, but it's got a compensator on it already,
Hmm.
and those run almost 400.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
again, that it's new, it's awesome, highly recommended for like a 19 or something like that.
Hmm.
Absolutely, absolutely. If I had the money, I'd have one on my 19. I'm not gonna lie. I would like
Yeah.
to try that. But um, for like just being tried and true, it's worked for me.
Hmm.
I would have to, and again, it's just because I've used. Golly, I can't stop burping. I am so sorry. I can't I can't go back on what's worked for me. You know what I mean?
Correct. Yeah.
I'm just, I guess I'm a loyal to the brand because that brand works really well for me. You
Hmm.
know, but Wheaton Arms, man, Wheaton Arms, and again, like Zafiri, Cross Armory makes a decent barrel. You know what I mean? But Zafiri, and Wheaton are probably my two top barrels. I really, and I know I mentioned KKM earlier. I would love to try KKM barrels. And what's the other one? God, I got the logo in my head. I can see it, and I can't think of the name. But it begins with an S. That's all I can
Yeah.
remember. But
So do
it's a great
another it,
it's a great barrel company as well.
so and I'm going to ask this. I mean, let's talk about accuracy for a minute. Obviously, the more
Yeah,
twists you have per foot,
it
um,
can. Yeah.
can you change your rifling? Like, can you get barrels that specifically change the rifling speed so that I mean,
Um,
one, is it
yes
worth
and
it? And
no.
two, can you?
It can be done. You can get. I mean, you can get custom barrels made. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But um, that is a trip down a road that would have your head spinning so much if you don't know anything about like ballistics and
Hmm.
things like that, and it'll have your head just going, "What the?" You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You won't know if you're coming or going. That's something
Right.
that you really got to study and get into a little bit. Can it not be done? No, you can absolutely do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Now, is
Because
it going
I
to be
just think,
effective? Probably. Again, it would depend on the load that you're shooting. Are you
yeah,
shooting like a plus
and the type
B
of round.
rounds? Are you shooting ball round, lead rounds? What do you? Is it
Hmm.
steel casings? Are they brass casings? All these things factor in. People
Yeah,
people don't believe that just the casing material will be different. Will change things up, and it does.
it
Okay,
does. It really does.
but is it worth it to get? And again, you can just get a regular old barrel, or you can get like a replacement OEM barrel,
Hmm.
or you can go and spend a couple extra bucks, you know, and buy a match grade barrel.
Yeah.
The match grade, a lot of match grade barrels are they have like I'm trying to remember, is it 11 degrees? I don't remember off the top of my head. It's a cut that they do on the front of that. Okay, so it gives it almost like a cone effect. So the bullet would
Hmm.
be coming out this way, like this, right? But it would have a cone effect that's ground cut into the front of that barrel about, I don't know, about that much of the barrel is cut back, right, into the I guess into the where the rifling is, so it's not
Hmm.
flat. It's like a conical. It's coned. Okay,
Sure.
and what that's
Sure.
supposed to do is supposed to give your bullet when it exits the barrel, it gives it more stability,
Right.
which again equates into more accuracy. Okay,
Which makes sense. Yeah.
absolute sense.
Yeah.
And
And if you use
speed
like a
barrels
self
do that.
defense, yeah, if you use like a self defense round or a round that's not pointed, or i.e. a hollow point, and you're not right next to, you got to reach out and touch it just a little bit, whatever the target is. That would be one of the situations where you want a non aerodynamic round to be as accurate as possible. Right. So that's just something to think about. Again, you can spend $10,000 on 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 this kind of stuff and still not know how to use it. But it makes sense
Absolutely.
what you're saying. Is it worth it? Is it uh Mike asked about incendiaries. I mean, I don't know if it was a Mark 19. You can probably uh because I remember Mark 19s are rifled.
Yeah,
Those
absolutely.
automatic grenade
Absolutely.
launchers, they're rifled. Like,
Yes, they are.
um, so
My
that
dad
makes
used to make
sense,
the
man.
bolts for the Mark 19. I don't know if you
Man,
knew
I,
that.
I didn't know, but I know what they feel like when they bust you in the chest. Yeah, I was that guy in armor's course.
You were that
When you hit the release, that bolt, because the bolt is about that
guy.
big in a grenade launcher, and it hit me square in the chest. I was black
Yeah,
and
you
blue on
gotta.
the.
If I'm not mistaken, you got to take that apart in the closed bolt position.
Yes, that,
That
and
has to, that bolt
you
has to be
have to
closed.
yeah, and you have to lean up on it so that
Spring. Yeah,
spring
well, you got four big ass springs
is
in there.
four springs in there. Yeah, that didn't feel good, man. It knocked me across the bed, across the desk, and it was not fun at all. Yeah, good stuff though, man. I've always wondered about the aftermarket barrels. Besides them looking pretty cool, the stainless steel or the
Right, right.
you
Now
know,
there's
um,
all kinds of them out there. Like Legion make that's a great barrel too.
oh
That's
yeah,
one of
the
that
legions.
everybody
Hmm.
get really hyped up on, and they're
Yeah,
good barrels. But like I said, just tried and true for me. And I'm not saying that these are the best barrels on the planet or you know uh, what have you. You know what I mean? But
yeah,
Wheaton Arms barrels for me kick ass. That's all there is to it. You know,
yeah,
they
yeah.
perform really well for me. Okay,
Sure.
so I can't complain. I can't complain. But on the same token, now I have Zafiri as well.
Hmm.
That barrel has never let me down, ever, ever, ever let me down. So that's another good barrel. You know. Now I've heard good and bad. Like it's crap. Everybody has them. Everybody has them, but they work.
Right.
you know. And
Right.
some people will tell you so wear up and down. Oh, it's junk, it's junk, it's junk. Well, it works for me, and it works well for me. And you know how
Yeah.
I am. And I
Yeah.
don't want to say I'm a perfectionist, but if it's not right, it's not right, and I'm not going to settle for it until I get it right. You know what I
Right,
mean?
and there's and another thing too is people gotta understand. Look, do what your heart's content, but it's got to be right for you. If it doesn't make sense, don't do it. If it makes sense to you, by all means, no one's here to judge, right?
That's
Um,
right.
just don't spend the money on something that looks cool. If
Don't do that.
one you can, and don't.
Research,
Yeah, not unless
research.
you've got a bank account that you can just roll up to a gun store and be like, I want two of each, just because. Hey, you do you. But
You do you,
um,
and make sure you call me because I got parts for you.
yeah, exactly, right. So now that's to me the biggest thing for me to buy an aftermarket barrel, besides it looking like the stainless steel look, would be it can you get one that's got more rifling, there's some more twist to it to make it more accurate, because
Um,
that'd be one. I not because I carry a 10 mil, right, and this thing travels, it moves, right, and
yeah,
would want to make it as accurate as far as possible. That'd be the only reason why I would do it.
sure, sure, sure.
Hmm.
And now you got a Gen 4
Hmm.
um, Glock 21 or Glock 20. I'm sorry, Glock
Glock
20.
20. Uh-huh.
That it might have the new barrels in it. I'm not for sure. I'd have to look at it because I know Glock came out with a different barrel. That they're like a performance type barrel.
Right.
Okay, and that's what's in all the Gen 5s. From what I've read and understood, it's in all the Gen 5s. And I
Right.
thought I read somewhere where they started putting them in some of the Gen 4s
Hmm.
before they quit making Gen 4s.
Maybe depending on the year that it was made, or what part of the year it was made, if the new ones were
Yeah,
out. Yeah,
that's
that makes
exactly what
sense.
that's exactly what
Yep.
I'm thinking. So, I mean, here nor there, if it's one of the newer barrels that the Glock offers,
Hmm.
man, well, it's just like on, let's see, the 21. That's a Gen 4. Definitely going to be replacing the barrel in that. But in my 17 and my 45,
Hmm.
both those barrels are like brand new. I mean, they might,
Yeah.
matter of fact, they might have had maybe a box of shells ran through all of them,
Right.
in those two barrels. But I put replacement barrels on there because I want to get into more of the competition side of it. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
So the 45 really wasn't like um, what am I looking for? Like a competition gun. You know what I mean? It's not like I'm gonna go shoot steel with it tomorrow. Although I probably
Sure.
could, but that's not. I think I would do better. Like if I had my 17, I'd do better
Hmm.
with my 17. Match grade barrel again. But I think I would do better than again. I have the threaded barrel on the 45, so that when I do, get a one of those hush hush devices, you know,
Hmm. Yeah.
I'll have it. I'll have the barrel, you know.
Yeah.
Um, but again, my main purpose for buying that barrel was just because it was just that much longer, and it gave me just a little bit more rifling, and a little bit more spin, and that's the only reason. That's the only reason I bought
Yeah.
it. Okay. Otherwise, if that wasn't my plan, then I probably would have just left the stock barrel in it, until
Sure.
I was
Until it was
shooting,
needed.
my shot groups went from this to that. Then okay, then we got an issue here. Let's find out what's going on.
Right.
Is it maybe I'm just dumber than a box of smashed buttholes, or is my barrel bad? I don't know. Am I just doing something stupid? I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Something. So you got to start troubleshooting at that point.
Right. Right.
But yeah, man, there's nothing wrong. Look, I'm going to be honest. if you really just definitely want that replacement barrel, by God, go do it. If that makes you happy and that trips your trigger and that floats your boat,
Do it. Yeah,
by all means, give me a call. I'll help you. I help you. I'll help you pick one out.
exactly.
You know, but
We know a
but
guy.
yeah, I know a guy. Okay, but oh, it's Strike Industries. That's who that company was. Strike Industries.
Ah, yes,
Yeah,
yes, yes.
they make a fluted barrel for the 19 that I saw it. I read about it. I read some of the reviews about it. I just can't live without it. You know what I mean? I'm gonna
Hmm.
end up buying it eventually. Now it
Sure.
might not be this year. I gotta wait till the that rifling is just shot out of that thing before I decide to spend more money on barrels again. Unless I
Right.
just come up with some extra cash and I can go afford that barrel because it's almost like $200.
Right.
Okay, but I definitely want it. And I'll eventually get it eventually. But um, the purpose of those aftermarket barrels, two purposes that I can think of off the top of my head. It's just that you shot that gun so many times and the rifling is just shot out of it.
Yeah.
I mean, I and and there's ways you can figure that out. You can go get it gauged.
Hmm.
You can take that barrel, get it gauged. I know because I used to do it every month.
Yep.
10 M16s would go into the back of a Humvee. I'd drive over to the third shop, and they would do all the gauging and everything like
Yep.
that for me, make sure they were good to go. Because it had to be documented every year. Every weapon in your arms room had to be gauged. Okay,
Hmm.
so in order for me to make it easy for me, plus it got me out of doing crap every
Dumb stuff at the
every dang
unit.
day, right? So what I would do, it's kind of like when like what I used to always tell my soldiers, it's kind of like one of them things, walk around. As I always told them, if I catch you and you don't have a pen and a notepad, you're gonna be beating your face all day long because that notepad does two things for you, and that pen does two things for you. Okay. Yes, it helps you take notes. When Sergeant so and so is telling you something, you better be taking notes. Okay. Second thing that does for you is if you're sitting here and you're looking around like crap, and you stick that in your pocket and start walking off somewhere, they're going to think you're busy and they're going to leave you alone.
Yep. That's true. Hey,
So
that's yeah,
look busy.
that's old
So
old school army stuff right there. Hmm.
that's right. That's it. There you go. There you go. For all you youngsters out there that need some tips and tricks, there you go. There's your tip and trick for the day. But um, what I was trying to get at was the gauging that they do. Okay, they gauge this. They take a rod that goes down that barrel. Okay,
Hmm.
and it has so much a tolerance. Okay, there is a tolerance for that.
Yeah,
Okay,
twist tolerance.
micron. We're talking microns here. We're talking like fractions of a hair, literally fractions of a hair.
Hmm.
Okay, there's 88 microns in one human hair. Just so y'all, if y'all didn't know that. Okay, but that gauge, you're only allowed so much tolerance. Okay, so now that being said, if you feel like I've been at the range, I've been shooting this Glock so and so or this Sig or this H&K, whatever, I've been shooting this gun for years and it's always been great. Now all of a sudden I can just see my shot groups are getting worse and
Yeah.
worse and worse, as the years go. Oh,
Yep.
it's just because I'm getting old. No, probably not. Probably
No,
not. You
it stuff
probably
wears
shot the
out, man.
rifling out of it
Yeah, I mean it
because
wears out.
I've seen it happen even in military weapons. I've went to the range, and I'm not bragging. I don't think I'm bragging. Okay, I'm a country boy. I grew up hunting. My dad got laid off, and if I didn't kill something that day, we didn't eat. Yes, that's for real. That happened to me. Okay.
Hmm.
Now, was it like that every day? No, it wasn't like that every day. You know what I mean? But I would go out during hunting season and I'd fill that freezer up with the maximum allowed game that I was allowed to have. That's what I would do. Okay.
Hmm.
That way we had food to eat. So I learned how to shoot pretty damn good, pretty damn quick because my gut was telling me if you don't kill it, we're not eating. Trust me, I learned how to shoot quick. Okay. So that being said, if you feel like your gun is not performing properly, two things you need to look at. Look at if is your gun functioning right? Is the barrel within tolerance? Okay.
Hmm.
Um, Even look at the when the trigger's being pulled, is there like hard spots? Is there like a tight spot or anything like that in there? Make sure everything's fluid like it's supposed to. Okay.
Yeah.
And then if everything's good on that aspect, then look at the way you're shooting. It might be just the way you're shooting. Maybe look at a different trigger shoe.
There's so many elements that can change.
Exactly.
Everything gets worn out. I mean,
Exactly.
especially if you're constantly using it, it gets worn out.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So
Hmm.
again, is it wrong to change your barrel? No. Okay. Um, the thing is, do you need it or you just want it? So those are
Or you
two
just
things
want it. Yeah.
you just got to depict that. Do I need
Right.
this because my shot groups are getting horrible when they were great before, but now they're bad? Give your gun to your buddy and say, hey, can you shoot this? Shoot a mag down the range and tell me what you think. And
Yeah.
then we'll look at the shot group. You know,
Yep.
maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm not shooting properly, or maybe I'm not doing this right or doing that right. It never hurts
Yep.
to check yourself, and it never hurts to have a buddy like this guy over here. I can say, hey, can you shoot this a few times? Just tell me what how you shoot with it. Never hurts.
Yeah.
They
And if
have
I do
methods for
ter
that, huh?
if I do worse than you did, and it's not the equipment,
Yeah, right,
it's
right.
us.
There you go.
Yep.
It's us. But yeah, now go out, check them out. Do your research. Trust
Yeah.
me, do your research.
Yep.
Don't just go, oh, that's a cool fluted barrel and it's gold tin coated and it looks really nice. And man, it would look really cool with my, flat dark earth slide on my whatever. You know,
It doesn't make be
now,
practical
now
about it,
that is a pretty gun cool. Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. That's why my 17. I love my 17. I think it's dead sexy. You know,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
like
but
gun porn.
but again, there's those people that also they do that. Just do what your heart content. Uh,
Yeah, man. If
just
that's your
just be
thing, then
smart
by
about
God,
it.
do it. Yeah,
Yeah, just
absolutely.
be smart about it.
Yep. That's. I mean, everybody. Now, I'll be the first one to admit it. Have I seen some of those Gucci Glocks? Yep. Did I like some of those Gucci Glocks? Blah, 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 Gucci Glocks. First day at the new tongue. Sorry, but yeah, absolutely. They're gorgeous. Some of those guns are just beautiful works of art. They really are. You know, but my thing is, if it's going to be my EDC gun, I definitely don't want to do that.
Mm-mm.
Because if I have that on me and I have to draw my weapon on somebody, they're going to take that.
Yep.
If I got a
Yeah.
whole bunch of money invested in, optics and this, that, and yada 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 yada,
Yep. They're gonna
then
take it
I'm just
until you
ass
get it
out.
back. Yeah.
If you get it back, you don't always get them back. Because
Yeah.
it's evidence,
Yeah.
whatever.
No, it makes sense, man. And you know, uh, again, it can be an expensive hobby just because,
Oh, absolutely,
why
man.
do people put 28-inch rims on their 82 Cutlass? I mean, because they can, if that,
Yeah, if that's your thing, go for it.
just don't just remember in the world of arms and concealed carry that if you have to use it, then you're finding yourself possibly without it for some time or not. So just be smart about it. Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. Amen.
Yep.
You hit it right on. You hit it right on the head of the nail. Be smart about it. You
Hmm.
know, don't think about things before you do it because, again, you go out there and we'll just say you spend that money on that Radian, you know,
Yeah.
compensated barrel and $300, $400 down the road, and man, you're shooting great with it. You're just loving the hell out of that thing, and then you're in your truck and you go to the ATM machine, you get out, you walk over to the ATM machine, you put your money in there. Next thing you know, somebody's got something on your back.
Hmm.
You're like, oh, what do I do? And you turn and draw, shoot from the hip. Boom. Well, now you just smoked this guy, and
and,
you did the
and
right thing, and you did the right thing because you have USCCA, and you did the
Yes.
first thing you're supposed to do: holster your weapon, get the weapon away from the scene, or get it away from the area where nobody can use it or take it that shouldn't be using it. Okay, secure the weapon, call 911, and then you call USCCA.
Yes. Yep. Exactly.
Okay, get your lawyer on it, get him on the case immediately. Okay, and hopefully, when all is said and done, you'll get your pew pew back, and there won't be any issues. But don't be upset if you don't, because you've been told already. I done told you.
Yep.
Okay, you
You
don't
can't get
always
mad
get
at.
them back. You
That's
don't
right.
always get them back. So if it's going to be an eat, and like me, my Glock 21, literally did a trigger job on it and put a new trigger shoe. That's it. The only other thing I'm going to do on it is I'm going to put
Yep.
tritium sights on it. That's it. Nothing else.
Yeah.
No optics, because that's going to be my everyday carry gun. And if I invest a
Sure.
whole bunch of money in it, and then then I'm going to be ass out, and I don't want that.
Right. Yeah.
That,
Again,
that,
I mean,
that's
if
why I don't
it's,
carry my 17 anymore.
yeah, I mean, you can't, again, what can you afford to do?
Better yet, what can you afford to lose?
Right.
So that's the tidbit on the barrels for me. Now, if somebody wanted me to get deeper into barrel conversation, I would be more than happy to. I have a gentleman that I can speak to that builds barrels. He builds barrels, sells barrels. He's a retired United States Marine, and he's actually got a YouTube channel here, and he's just a super awesome guy, super helpful guy, and the cool thing about it is, if I don't know something, all I gotta do is pick up a phone. I can call him, and he'll he'll
Hmm.
he'll he'll help me out.
Yeah.
So again, if you're looking for a good barrel from a good company that stands behind their stuff, go check out Wheaton Arms. Robbie Wheaton is a super awesome guy, and his son races, by the way.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he races, by the
Nice.
way. And yeah, he's if I'm not mistaken, he's racing karts right now.
Yeah.
And but he's doing good, man. He's doing good. I'm kind of keeping an eye on him. So, but
Start him young, you know?
that's it. He's doing pretty good. He's doing pretty good. But
Nice.
talking about racing, man, what's going on with
Ooh,
the
bro.
with the 1X, man? Talk to us, man. Let us know what's going
I,
on.
it's, I was talking with Mark earlier today about it. We've been fighting this oiling in the cylinders. There's an oil in the cylinders issue, and two sets of heads, three intakes,
Yep.
more head intake gaskets, and you can shake it. I think Amazon just says that, hey, if you just send them to him because he's going to need them.
This is
And
every
we've
month. He
been,
needs them every month.
yeah,
Auto ship.
we've been we've been fighting this issue of it's smoking, and we could not figure it out. For the life of us, could not figure it out. So we went and did the cars for coffee on Sunday, and I didn't run it very long. Just I drove it, I parked it, and I left because I don't want to smoke everybody out. And that was on Sunday, and then Monday, I went over to the shop and we tore it. We pulled it out of the car and we tore it completely apart. And besides how beautiful everything was, we found out that the oil ring um, was collapsing on itself, and it
Oh, the
wasn't
rings
scraping
on the piston.
on the piston. It was collapsing, and they weren't scraping the oil off the cylinder walls. And then after a while, if it's not
It just
fuel but it's
it'll
oil,
keep.
it washes the cylinder, meaning the rings can't seat, right? And it's just pushing oil,
Low
up on
compression too,
top.
right?
It does drop your compression a little bit, right? Because the rings can't, they're not sealed,
They're not
right?
making a
So
seal, right?
so I'm like, okay, well, at least we know we didn't do anything wrong. Like the bearings look like beautiful. We're going to reuse the bearings. The pistons themselves look amazing. It's just frustrating, right? So I go over to the shop. We take it over to the shop, Mission Auto, and this is where knowledge in the old timers is absolutely amazing. Like just to sit there and listen to these guys talk. And Andy works over there, and he's like, "These are nice pistons. What? Give me one of them." You know, because I had them in a box. Just hand it to me. And the first thing he looked at was the landing on the oil groove of the piston, because my pistons have it's got an oil groove, but they actually drill oilers, so you can get more lubrication, right?
Mhm.
And he said, well, this is your problem. You don't have what they call a oil ring support rail underneath the oil rings. And I'm like, I've never used one. I've never had the problem. And what it is when they cut these pistons for the stroke that we're using and the length of rod, it moved the pin into the rail, the oil ring.
Oh,
So
okay.
where the pin slides in, there's a gap. Well, those oil rings have to sit on top of that gap, and what's happening is that they're collapsing, and they collapse, and they ended up collapsing to themselves where they're not even touching the cylinder walls, and oil is just going right by the
Gotcha.
rings.
So now, was that just a different type of a ring that you got to use then?
Well, no, but it's called a support rail, and they're only used on pistons where the pin where the wrist pin goes through and there's a gap. It keeps the oil ring from collapsing and it can stay out. Um,
Gotcha. Okay.
but never knew, didn't know to ask for it. I don't know if Tim and the guys at Race Tech, where I get all my pistons made, probably it's not something that they thought of or what have you not. But what they're going to do now is they're going to re-ring the pistons. They're actually going to put a little bit bigger ring in there so we get a good seal, and they're going to short block it. Hopefully, get it back next week, put together, and we go racing next weekend. So it's that simple, but it's cost that much because you don't know,
There.
right?
Yeah.
Everything's brand new, right? And if you don't know, you don't know. And I was like, we got to take this thing apart to figure out exactly what is going on. And lo and behold, the pressure that was going around the piston rings is shooting oil up through
Up.
the galley, through the intake gasket, which there's so much pressure in there that if it doesn't stay in a crank case and the crank case, and it's not forced out of the breathers, it's going to blow by and it's going to go into the valley up into the intake. So
Sure. Sure. Well, now
so
we got
now
to figure it
we
out.
got to figure it out, and now I know what not to do next time, and I know that when we go to refresh it, we make sure we have those support rails. I think a set of support rails like $12-13.
That's not bad, dude.
Yeah, but it's cost me almost $3,500. It's crazy. So but yeah, that's the update. Hopefully we get it back before next weekend so we can go racing. If not, I'll be announcing the opening points night at I-37. But that's the scoop. And I want to, you talk about your buddy Robbie's son that's in karting. I We got our new shirts in today from Bam Bam Brock Pankhurst. This kid is a 604 crate late model racer. He's 14.
Wow.
And let me tell you something. They call him Bam Bam. And I'm going to throw a shout out to him because I follow we follow the kid. We've seen him race on TV a few times. He runs with the Rush Crate Late Model Series, and the kid is one of those fearless, young guns that they started him out young, and
Very cool.
he's good. So talking about kids, I got these young kids. We were at the World of Outlaws not this past weekend, but 2 weekends ago. And Jason Sides has a development driver. He's 16 years old. Last name is Crawley. In a Wing 410 sprint car. They're starting them out young. Like they're really these kids. The talent now these days.
I know it makes you sit back and think, what the hell was I doing when I was that age?
Yeah,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I was drinking beer out in the cornfields and doing stuff with the girl next door that I shouldn't have been doing.
Yeah, because my parents wouldn't let me live out my dream at a young age because I always wanted to drive a wing car, but that was a no-go. And now I there's my reflexes, I mean, you got to be on top of your game unless you're in like a 305 or whatever. But so that's the scoop, man. We had a great turnout. We had a lot of veterans sign the car on Sunday out at Cars and Coffee. Um,
Cool, cool.
looking forward to having the car out there for Seguin River Monster Military Appreciation Night.
I was just gonna
Um,
say, man,
yep. And
June
it's going to
6th.
be 100%. So, Whip, what's going on, buddy? Um,
Yep. Hey,
um,
what's
so
up?
yeah, and another thing that we want to put out is May 25th. We are going to have an event. It's not our event. We're going to be a part of the event. We're going to have the car there at the Shade Tree. I'm going to do a video on it to give the
Where's it at?
specifics. Shade Tree Saloon up in Bulverde. It's going to be with Fallen Raider audio, and uh,
Trying to
it's going
remember
to be
where
a nice little
Belverde is
music
at.
festival. Yeah, up 281. So
Gotcha.
yeah,
Okay.
it's a nice place out there too, man. They got big trees, and we're gonna have the cars there, and it's gonna be really nice. And then we are currently working on the first Relief for Troops Veterans Charity event. It's titled "Slinging for the Veterans." It's going to be a big slingshot um, event. We're going to have a lot of the slingshots out there giving rides for charity. Um, we're
Way
working on
cool.
getting baskets for raffles and what have you not. We're going to have the race cars out there, a DJ, and we're going to try to raise money and keep handing out product and do what we set out to do. So we got a lot of stuff coming up. Um, Vado,
That's
we
way
got some
cool, man.
Vado races coming up. So yeah.
Oh, I do want to let y'all know too. If you're in the Seguin area, Seguin, Texas area, or San Antonio, or
Hmm.
just love baseball and you really want to catch a really good TCL game, um, 31st of this month, which is just a few days away. Okay.
Hmm.
Opening day at Smoky Joe Williams Field. The Seguin River Monsters will defend their standing title because they are the champions this year. They are the
Yeah.
defending champs. So if you're looking for some exciting baseball and a great group of young guys, just I have not met a single one of their players that I did not like. They're
You
just
know,
really courteous, real professional kids. I'm really proud of them, and they have new
they all signed
management
the
this
car
year.
too last year.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yep.
it was
And,
really cool.
yeah, and they have new management, and the new management it's a young couple that own the team, and they're just, I mean, just going at this thing full force with the River Monsters this year.
Yeah,
They bought the boys a brand new tour bus, wrapped it. Oh, it's sick, dude! It is
nice,
gorgeous. It's gorgeous. Okay,
nice.
uh, they're talking about doing a lot of stuff at the Smoky Joe Williams Field, trying to get that built up to what it. And I was had a conversation with her about that and her husband that that diamond that ball field, it has a pretty prestigious name on it, but it's and
Hmm.
I'm not trying to down talk anybody or anything like that. Okay, I'm not doing that. Okay, but I believe in my heart of hearts it's because I'm a baseball fan, and it's historic. Um, they need to put a little bit more into it. And the new owners agreed with I agreed with them and they agreed with me. We
Sure.
were tracking eye to eye, and they got a lot of plans. They want to put in a nice beer garden. They want to do
Yeah.
all really cool things at Smoky Joe's. So you know. Shout out to them, man. I know that the River Monsters. I don't know if they watch the show or not, but guys, if you're watching, we're pulling for you this year, man. You're gonna do great things. We know you're gonna defend the title. We know you're gonna repeat. Because you guys got a great organization, you got a great owners, and it just everybody's pretty excited in Seguin for you too. So come on out and see us March 31st, Smoky Joe Williams Field. I believe it starts at 6, if I'm not mistaken. I'll double check on that, but I believe it is 6 o'clock.
Nice.
But
Yeah.
what I do want to
Great group
say,
of guys.
it's super great guys. And I still have the autographed baseball from last year too.
Yeah,
for
yeah,
when I threw out the pitch. Oh man, that
yep.
was such an honor, man. It was so cool. But and we always try to close out with we don't always do it, but we try to close out with issues that veterans might deal with, or maybe issues that we've seen or noticed things
Yeah.
that we want to talk about. So, what you got for us this week, brother?
I had a good uh, long time ago. I had a good conversation with Bubba about anxiety, right? And we are going to have him on one of our episodes to actually talk about uh, things that veterans go through, and he still deals with it, and he's been out for some time, and and he was willing to say, I'll talk about anxiety, and because he can, and how a book actually helped him get through his anxiety. And
Oh
you
wow.
know, you know, I having been through things myself, right? And my story really is not any different than anybody else. Um, I never knew what like true anxiety was. I didn't know what it felt like. I didn't know. I knew nothing about it, right? And there was a time, there was a time for about 13 months, 12, 13 months, right? That I didn't hear from Bubba. And he was dealing with stuff and anxiety and what have you not.
Mm-hmm.
And we talk about, and I'm glad we led into this because it dawned on me um, h- how important this really is about talking to people. We were at the shop, not just a couple weeks ago, and we were talking about anxiety. In fact, it was the night that we did our podcast with Iceman over there at the shop,
Okay. Yeah.
and we were talking, and Bubba had some time there where we didn't communicate, right? And I knew that I wasn't gonna, we were trying to work on the car, and I'm over there at the house trying to work on the car and stuff like that for a long time. And it was about 12,
Mm-hmm.
13 months that I really didn't hear from him. And then one night, um, he messaged me and said, "I'll be over at the house," because I was trying to work on the car at the time. And I'm like, "Oh, hey," he says, "Listen, just I'm gonna come on over. We're gonna help. I'm good." And he had he was still dealing with his anxiety, right? And that day he went and did pictures with the family and the kids and what have you not. And he said it was really, really just the anxiety was just piling and piling and piling. All he wanted to do was escape. And so I'm at the house working on the car, and here comes Bubba. And he rolls up, he opens the door, he's got some Black Rose blaring on the radio, right? And the first thing it says, Black Crows, is that what we're doing? And he said, at that time, he said, I've never told you this, but at that time, you took it all away. He said, because I felt comfortable around you. I felt like you were going to have my back if I was going to go down, if I had something happen to me or what have you not in the midst of this anxiety. You were the first person that just
Yeah.
shut it all away. All because I talked to him. All because of that. So I say all of that to talk about, you know, um, what I think we really need to focus on with helping others and explaining how important it is to talk. And I never knew much about anxiety. I've only had one anxiety attack, and do I dare call it an attack? It's nothing really what a lot of people, but I was tattooing. In fact, I was coloring this tattoo in at my old
Mm-hmm.
house, right? And I was almost done, and all of a sudden I just felt I couldn't breathe. My heart rate was going 1,000 miles an hour. My mind was, and everything was just kind of like what it's like Earth stood still for a minute, and I didn't know what to do,
Yeah.
and I don't know what brought it on. I have no idea what it was, And it took me about 30 minutes to finally go, I don't know what was going on, right? So I say that to say, when we talk about veteran issues and we talk about call someone and we talk about talking, I
That's real
know
stuff.
that's that's real. And Bubba, and we're gonna have him on, so because he said he'd talk about it, because I know nothing about it like he does. Um, Anxiety and being available for people to talk about their issues does a lot more good than what you may think it does.
Agreed.
Number
Oh,
two,
absolutely.
the person that has the time to listen needs to understand that you may just be sitting there listening, and that is that comfort that that person needs to know that, okay,
Exactly.
everything's going to be okay. And
Well,
that is,
the big thing of it too is it's like we always say, somebody really does give a damn. Somebody really does
yeah,
care. Somebody really is
yes,
taking the time out to listen to everything I say, and they're listening. Okay.
hmm,
Now there's a difference between hearing somebody and listening
and
to somebody.
listening. Absolutely.
Hearing is just that's all
Yeah,
that is. I can hear you, but I'm not listening. Okay. When
yeah.
you're listening, you can hear it. Hey, I need help. You know?
And it doesn't take. And here's another thing, people, when and I'm going to tell this to those that don't have it as bad as others, that want to listen and be that person that they listen to. You don't have to say anything. You don't have to try to give them advice. You don't have to try to, unless they ask. All I said to my brother was, oh, Black
Oh, that's what
Crows?
we're
Oh,
doing?
is that what we're doing right now? And he said, at that moment, you took it away.
Yeah.
I, we
And I'll
can
be
do that
honest.
with anybody, you know.
I'll
So
be
you
honest.
have
I'll
to
be
be calm.
honest though, bro. The last thing, okay, the last thing anybody, you know, wants to hear is, "Oh, I've been there. I've done that. I did." They don't give a damn about none
Nobody
of that shit.
cares.
Nobody cares.
Nobody
Nobody
cares.
cares. All
Yeah.
they want is for you to listen,
Hmm.
let them vent. That
Hmm.
is 90% of it. They just want to vent. And the other
Hmm.
10% is just, hey, you know, just acknowledge that they're going through something. That's it. You
Yeah.
know, just show them that you give a damn. That's it. You know, just oh man, that's got to be hard, man. You know,
Yeah.
or like I said, the last thing they want to hear is, oh, man, I know I've been there, man. You know, they don't want to hear that, even though we
Yeah.
all do it. We all say it. You
Right.
know, you know.
And,
The fact
and
is,
you
it's
and
the
you
last thing they want to hear.
correct. And you hit on something, and I'm going to take a minute to talk about what you just hit on. Uh, Too many people. Let me say it the right way. There's not enough humility in this world, right? With people that are actually really smart, right? Because they want to they want to, like, not I say impose very loosely, but they feel like they need to get their knowledge or experience or their thoughts or whatever out,
Exactly.
and
That's why
it's not even about them. So I think a lot of a problem in today's world is that veterans or people in general that have anxiety issues or depression issues or whatever don't want to tell people, because they probably don't think anybody's listening and not saying anything back, right? Therapists, listen, if you're a therapist out there, I'm not going to talk bad about it. You guys are trained to do what you guys do or what have you not. But I'm also
yeah,
going to say this. There's probably a lot of therapists out there that's never been in the situation or had to deal with the situation that they're actually in the license to talk about. So when I talk about veterans, helping veterans out, and being very active listeners, right? If you even went through the same crap, right? You know, Sergeant Major and I drove together, went through the same IEDs together, went through all the same crap together. If he wanted to talk to me about something, that's not my time to go, I know, I was right next to you. I know. I did it too. I know it. No, sit there and listen because maybe you're dealing with it better than they are, and they can feel that energy from you that you are dealing with it a lot
They're
better.
coming to you.
That's why they're probably coming to you. Don't be the don't be the person to go, oh well, let me tell you how to fix that. Let me tell you how I did it. If it's not asked for, don't say it.
Yeah, we don't need no
But
shithouse lawyers.
just listen. And I really think that that is one of the big problems on why veterans and people that have that kind of issue really don't, they just shut down. They just shut down because
Well,
they don't
that the
feel like
fact that
anybody would understand.
well, that and the fact that even like, well, for me, okay, yeah, it's pretty obvious. I'm an old cat. I'm not exactly a spring chicken. Okay, but
Hmm.
okay, when I was coming up, oh, you're a this or you're a that. You cried. Oh, you ain't no man. You know
Yeah,
that a lot of people have that stigmatism, or I shouldn't say stigmatism, but
the
the
stigma.
stigma.
Hmm.
That, oh, if I ask for help, I'm weak. If I do
Hmm.
this, I'm weak. If I get help from somebody, I'm weak. That's totally the worst freaking thought you could ever freaking have. Because I'm telling you what, I've been
Yeah,
on both sides of that. Okay. And
yeah.
I'm telling you right here and now, as God is my witness, it takes more gut, more strength, more gumption, more just being a good freaking human being, you
Hmm.
know, to say, hey, man, hey, Drew, got something that's, kind of bugging me. I need to talk, man. You mind?
Yeah, let's grab a beer,
It,
sit
it,
down.
it's
What you need?
harder. It's harder to do
Yeah,
that
it is.
than to not say nothing.
It is.
So
But
if you can
you know,
turn around and say, "Hey, man, I need help," man, I tell you what, I would think and respect more of you than if you didn't.
yeah,
That's a fact.
and being able to, uh, and I was really humbled when Bubba told me that, right? Like to the point where I had I had faucets in the eyes a little bit because it's like, you don't ever expect to be that person, right? You don't you're just trying to be the best human being that you can to people, right? You keep your inner circle close, you take care of your inner circle, but anybody that feels like they can talk to you and just listen, you just be humble enough to sit back and go, it's not about me right now.
Right. Absolutely.
Today's society is so not about helping your partner.
Me, 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 me,
It's
me, me.
entitlement. It's everybody is entitled. Well, if it is a true saying that if you're going to rant and rave every time you open your mouth, someone's listening. And sometimes the wrong person is listening, and then you find yourself in trouble. But if someone comes to you and says, I just need to vent and let this out, stop what you're doing and go, what you need. Lay it on me. And unless they ask for your opinion,
Don't give it.
don't give it. But everybody feels the need. So anyway, I know I'm kind of going on a tangent, but when we talk about veteran issues, I see this too many times. You know, have enough compassion and humility to actually sit there and go, I'm gonna give you what you need from me. What can I do? Let's do this right now. I'm gonna be here for you. And not sit there in your mind and go, man, I got other stuff to do. I need to be right, because you know what? There could be that chance that if he gets a person gets that vibe from you or whatever, be like, you know what, I'm done talking to you. You might have been the last person that they ever talked to. It's that touchy, guy. So we're all in this together. Just you know, if someone comes to you, hey, listen, just listen. But how many times Chuck and you and I tell you right now, when you were talking about, your accident at Caterpillar, and you were trying to, talk through the injuries and talk through the working through the VA system. I don't know how many times that you would call and be like, do the VA this and the VA that. I sat there and listened until you asked. until you sit there and ask, how'd you do it? I mean, it was some time ago, but we had that conversation.
Sure.
You know what I mean? And so that's where all of us, have to be able to go, you know what? I'm gonna stop what I'm doing for about 15 minutes. I'm gonna for what you need, my man. You know what I mean? And then what can I do for you?
Right.
Tell me what I need to do. And then you kind of give the third person, here's an idea, this is what we can work on. So that when we talk about veteran issues, what have you not, anxiety has been kind of on my mind, and
That's
and
a big
and
one. That's actually a big
it's
one.
huge. Yeah.
And then the thing of it is, I mean, people don't realize, okay, and I'm living proof of it. Okay, this is why I'm bringing it up. Oh, Easter sales event for Olight starts this week. That's what that was. Okay. Anyway, um, if you, for instance, for me, they said I had anxiety because I quit smoking.
Hmm.
Okay, I smoked for over 40 years. Okay, every day for 40
Yeah.
years. Okay, in the army, I would go on, like our little what do you call them, our 20K or whatever the march that was
Oh,
that
the
we
ruck
did.
march.
The
Yep.
ruck marches that we did at Fort Stewart. I can't remember there because you had to have you had to be,
It's
be
like the
part of the
battalion
march.
death march. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like what do they call it? The Marne Standard. That's what it was. It was the
Hmm.
Marne
Yeah.
Standard.
Yeah.
So anyway, you had to pass PT test, and you had to run so many miles after that, and then you had to
Hmm.
qualify with your weapon, and then you had to do this ruck march. Okay, and it wasn't a short ruck march; it was a pretty long ruck march. Okay, you had to have a minimum of 45 pounds in your ruck, full battle rattle with
Hmm.
your weapon, and you had to march. Okay, I did it with a cigarette in my mouth. They had a pinch of Copenhagen on this right in there. I had me a little pinch of Copenhagen, and I had a pack of cigarettes in my shirt pocket. And every time I just pick up a cigarette and start smoking it, I went through almost a pack of cigarettes in that one march. No joke. But they're telling me since my body was so like it was like part of me every day
Yeah.
that when
It
I
was
quit,
relying on it.
yeah, and when I quit, they said that it was putting me through like an anxiety, right? And I I still don't smoke cigarettes. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
I made a promise to the good Lord above I'd never pick up a cigarette again, and I'm planning on keeping that. But
Yep.
it's just, it's not, and I'm not trying to say that my anxiety was like what Bubba was experiencing because it's two totally different things there. Okay,
Yeah.
but anxiety comes in many shapes and forms. Okay, so
Absolutely.
don't think that, oh well, I'm not a combat veteran. I pooey. That don't
Doesn't
mean
matter.
jack squat. It
It
don't.
doesn't matter.
Man, you could be 5 years old and have
Yeah.
anxiety. Okay,
Yeah.
never seen
You
a day
know,
of combat in your life. Okay, what I'm saying
correct.
is, if you feel like you might have anxiety issues, go
Hmm.
talk to somebody. It doesn't
Yeah.
mean you're weak. It doesn't mean this. It doesn't. It means that you give a damn about yourself and you care.
Yeah. And the
That's what it
guidance,
means.
getting the guidance from yourself, or even if you're, the Lord, like we do, I'm very so turned on, my feeling selfish to say, help me with this, right? Just show me some guidance here. And Whip had said, so he had said something just a little while ago, that it seems natural that when someone comes to you and starts talking about their issues, that you want to talk about yours. Well, it may seem natural, but in the case of when people just rant, just a bitch, right? That's that is yeah, because you're opening your door. Then you're opening the door for a recourse. You're allowing yourself to have some retort back,
Right.
right?
Right. Mhm.
But when someone comes to you that has been through probably the same thing you have, same situation you have in the sense, and you don't like myself. I'm very calm. I learned it through jujitsu. Inside, there's been turbulence, cray cray. But I've learned to tame it down because I have gone through training physically and emotionally and spiritually to actually kind of work with it and deal with it. Being a naturally calm person, I've you know I do get people that just want to talk, right? But we do want to talk about our experience. It's not the time though, right? As much as we want to let the person know they're not alone, there's going to be a time where they may go, I just feel alone, right? Or I just feel like I just feel like I could be standing in a room of people that I just can't be around people and I just feel so alone. And that's when you slowly go in there. I know how you feel. I know how you feel. And I can understand that, right? And you let it, you let it, you know,
Yeah,
you
just
let
let
it
them know that
roll.
we know that's
Hmm.
difficult. We know that it's not an easy thing to do. You know,
Right.
we know it's a hard journey to go through. We've been there.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's why I'm glad. That's what you tell them. I'm glad you came and talked to me because you know I can help you. Or I can get you to the right people to help you. Okay,
Yeah.
and just explain to them, man. Look, it's a great thing. You took a great first step, and we're going to
Yeah.
get through this, and we're going to do this together if we have to.
Yeah. Yeah, in our opinion, I'll say my opinion on therapists are strictly me having gone through therapists and about either marital issues or things going on inside of my head. And I myself have found jujitsu was the biggest peacemaker for me because it took
Mhm.
reality of situations that could get myself hurt. And if my mind is not here and centered and calm, I, you know, we're talking about people can attack or what have you not, right? That's through training, but it taught me like through everyday life. Um, Not everybody has that opportunity to do that, and that's why I'm saying most veterans that if you feel alone, when Chuck and Drew tell you go to our email, go to 988, reach out. You're going to find that one place or that one person you can talk to that is like, I want to talk to him or I want to talk to her because they listen and they actually don't make me feel like I'm competing with things that they went through or what have you not, right? Um, and do it and never feel like you're alone. So, I know I went over just a little bit on it, but that's been something that's been on my mind. I can't wait to have Bubba on and actually talk about it, and to actually get an insight of what it's like to have anxiety, and what do you do in those situations as a person? What did he learn to do that actually helped him through? And so it's been a big deal, man. And CBD has helped my anxiety out a lot too. But I never knew I had Chuck. I'm gonna say this, and I know I'm babbling, but I never knew I had actually anxiety or an actual. I'm 50% PTSD, but that's because of the nightmares and things like that. But I never knew that I had all of this chaos in my head, right? Until I went through my divorce.
Mhm.
I sat by myself on the couch in the RV alone and I lost it. Like I could not stop crying. I could not stop wondering why. I had all these questions in my head. I didn't know what was going on. And
Mhm.
then it's almost like the peace allowed me to go and revisit everything all the way back from when I was in the desert. All the way back and go, man, I didn't have anything out here distracting me from for me actually needing to get my mind right, especially going through a relation, a marital, and a divorce and things like that, and money and all that kind of stuff. That gets to be a lot. And my story is not any different, but I will man up and say I sat there and I cried to myself It just all came out. Years of crap just all came out. So
But you felt better
listen,
afterwards.
oh man. I mean, and then I went over to the shop and I was like, Bubba, help, talk to me. I don't know what to do. I just need to know that I'm in peace. I'm doing the right thing. Chaos and mental craziness. And then I went to Sensei, and Sensei says, listen, let's calm down. And that is where it all got better, is getting back into jujitsu and learning how to take that chaos, calm it down, and look at it from a different angle. And so that was my thing. We just keep listening to people. We're there.
That's
Dial
it.
988. Email us. Ask us questions on here. Even ask us on here. You know,
Yeah. Drop us a
um,
dime right here. We
yes,
got comments
absolutely.
up. We can read it. You
Yes,
know.
Whip, you got it. You got an excellent point. Chaos within our head is a lot like trying to look through the forest. You don't. You have to make your path to your center in all the crap, and then once you get to your center, you deal with one thing at a time inside of you. Right? You need answers or something. You need to talk about it. You talk to someone, but the cognitive work and the emotional work that you do, it's going to hurt. It's going to be a lot. Chuck and I have been through it together. We have talked about things all the time together.
We've
Um,
talked about things that make you go, "Oh my God, are you
well,
serious?"
and yeah, that's true. It's
We've
true
been there.
fact.
No, we
Yeah,
have been there.
yeah. So you're absolutely right, Whip. And being able to calm everything down and just accept. The God talks. They always say, and the Lord says He puts things in our way for a reason, right? It may not be right. It may not be easy. It may not be something you look forward to, and it's not always may not always have the greatest of outcomes, you know. Um, but you still
But
have
know
to
this
deal with
in that
those the
in this
same way.
in that aspect. Remember this one thing, okay? God will never ever, and I mean this, never ever give you more than what you can really handle.
That's right. That's right.
A lot of times it's because you might not believe in yourself. You might not have enough confidence in yourself.
Hmm.
Believe me, I've been there, and that guy right over there is the one that got me to go get the head out of my butt. Okay,
Yeah.
trust
I,
me.
it,
Sometimes that's all
we
you need, just a good buddy to kick you in the ass, and that's all
well,
you need
and
sometimes.
you're absolutely right. Sometime I'm gonna say this also. Taking care of someone doesn't necessarily being nice to them.
That's
Given
fact.
reality, I am a realist. I live with reality. I don't make up my own rules. I don't make up life rules. I don't. It's about reality. And coming to the realization that I needed to rely on the Lord a little bit more has just changed. Like today, today's a perfect example. Jennifer and I have not been looking for a house. We've not been looking for. We're trying to. I want to take care of some other bills, get some other things done. Plus, it just had to be right. And she said it today. Somebody told me to look at my email ding that I got for a property. Went over there and she's in the phone. She's back on the phone now talking to the lender like that. Never didn't think about it. Hadn't been planning it. I'm getting ready to go in July to pick up an enclosed race trailer from my buddy. There's just so much got going on, and guess what? Here we are. So it works when you can clear the chaos out. Um,
Amen.
uh, you believe it or not, just have faith in yourself that it is okay for you to be emotional about whatever's going on inside you. You're not alone. It's not a weakness. And it even said, the guy who says, even the weak man that recognizes it is the strongest person that you'll ever meet. You can stand in front of the mirror and fix yourself about relationship issues, job issues, your self-conscious issues or whatever it is. You stand in front of a mirror and you get yourself right and you don't worry about anybody else. You're going to be the person that's calm where people are going to come to be like, how do I do this? And it's going to be a natural thing. So
Amen.
anyway,
Amen.
help your brothers out, help your sisters out, and and you know That's my veteran take care of each other spiel
Right on, right
for the
on.
week.
That was well done.
Yeah.
Well said. Well said. So, guys, we talked about replacement barrels for our pew
Hmm.
pews, for our cordless hole punchers, or our pistolas, however you want to call them. Okay. Uh, we talked about the relevance in that. We talked about the Hessler Motorsports 1X super late model or super badass late model. We'll just call it that. Super badass late model. And what's going to be coming up with that in the near future. And
Yeah.
I do want to add to that too that make sure you got your seatbelts on because this summer it's going to get crazy and it's going to be a lot of fun. I
We're gonna
know
have
there's a
fun.
lot of things down the pipe that nobody knows about yet,
Hmm.
but it's going to be pretty cool. Okay.
Yeah.
We of course, we ended up with talking about our veteran issues. Okay. And I've been trying to part every week with just like a kind of like a little Bible verse or whatever. But
Hmm.
I'm gonna do a little different this week. It's and I'm trying to remember the actual passage where it comes from. But um, all things are possible through Jesus Christ. Remember that.
Hmm.
Okay. You might be down and out. Things might be getting to you. You know,
Hmm.
ultimately, you can always call your friend, call your buddy. I know I can pick up my phone. I can call Mike. I call Whip. I call Hessler. I call, my buddy Joe. I call anybody.
Hmm.
I can call him, and that's cool, and that's a good thing to do. Okay, but the one that can really make the difference, so many people don't even bother talking to him, man.
Yeah.
Learn to use your knees. Get on your knees and put your hands together and pray to the good Lord above because I'm telling you what,
Yep.
ultimately, He's the one that's going to help you.
Yep.
Ultimately.
Yep.
Don't forget it.
It's been a rough lesson.
It's all good, though, as long as we learn it. That's the
As long as
key.
we learn it. That's right.
So, with that, again, guys, I hope you had a great time watching the show. If you're just catching the show, and it was, like we were, we did the show, you didn't catch it live, so you catch it on the flip side or whatever you want to call it. All right, please know this that we do appreciate you coming and checking out our
Yes.
shows. We really do appreciate you. Like, subscribe, click that little bell button, and make sure that you get all the notifications every time a new show comes out, which is every Wednesday at 7 p.m. By the way, and you'll get those notifications. So, with that, guys, is there anything else you want to add to that before we close up
I'm
shop
good, man.
today?
It's been a great one.
All right. Well, listen. Um, if you're needing Glock parts, give me a shout. I'll help you out. If you need AMSOIL, that guy right over there, he'll help you out with some good AMSOIL stuff right over there.
Square you up
Uh,
right now.
square you away real good.
Hmm.
And again, God bless y'all. Take care of yourself. Have a wonderful evening. We'll see you again next Wednesday, 7 p.m. right here. Be there, be square with Gearheads and Guardians. Chuck and Drew signing out for the evening, y'all. God bless. Bye bye.
Good night.